The great thing about cooking in a slow cooker is you can throw in frozen meat. Another great thing about slow cookers is your dinner is ready for you when you get home, which is why I decided to make this video. So for this one, I threw in a frozen leg and thigh that I had in my freezer. I topped it with some poultry seasoning and added some carrots and potatoes, and then I put it on low for 8 hours. I like using my Instant Pot for a slow cooker because when it's done cooking, it will stay on warm. This is handy for me because sometimes I'm gone 10 hours or more. But this was so fantastic to have ready to go when I got home, when I'm tired and I just want to eat. I did saute up just a little bit of broccoli to go with it, but you can do what you and your family like. So there's your first simple meal in the slow cooker. The next meal that I decided to do was with pork. I chose to get a pork loin and I salted it really good, added a little bit of water for it to cook in and get the salt to mix around with and a little more salt. I then chose to put a little bit of applesauce on mine to cook, but you can leave it out if you prefer, but apples and pork go really well together. And then I threw in my sweet potatoes. I did have to cut these in half because they were a little bit big. And I topped that all with some Brussels sprouts. I salted them again a little more just for a little extra flavor. And then I put the lid on and turned it on to 8 hours on low. When this was done, I simply removed the veggies and the meat and put them in a tray to serve. And this was a lot, so we used half for dinner that night and saved the rest for another meal. I can't tell you how nice it is to just come home and have the meal ready to go without a lot of fuss, and this one especially was super easy. For this one, I would put thighs or chicken breasts in the slow cooker first, and then salt them a bit. And then you're going to want to choose your favorite barbecue sauce. This is the one that my family tends to like, at least that brand. I hadn't tried the hickory smoked one before, but this one turned out pretty good. I mixed that all around really well, and then I added my frozen corn on the cob. It's early spring, so it's not quite corn season, but you could also do this with fresh corn if it were summer and there was corn available. But I thought the frozen corn would go really well with the barbecue chicken. I sprayed a little bit of oil on top just to keep them from drying out or shriveling up, I suppose. Salted those, covered, and then I put it on high for about 4 or 5 hours. And there it is, all done and ready to go. I took the chicken and kind of broke it into smaller pieces so they'd be easier to serve. And then I did cook up some peas to go with this just for a few minutes on the stovetop, but you can have the vegetable you choose. You're going to want to take some sort of tougher cut of meat. I just went ahead and got the pre-cut stew meat because I thought that would save me a step. And these onions are optional, but if you do want to have a quick way to add onions, those frozen cut onions are great. And then the cut mushrooms. Then I added a can of beef broth and 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. Once you have all your ingredients in your pan, go ahead and mix it well. I just added my whole russet potatoes right on top of this, and then I put it into the Instant Pot and set it on my slow cooker mode for 6 hours on high. Once it was done, I pulled the potatoes out and I decided to add a little bit of cornstarch and water mixture to thicken this broth up into more of a gravy. You certainly can use it how it is, but this was not very hard and only took a few minutes. And I put it on my saute mode for my Instant Pot to thicken it up. And then I used the gravy to top the potato with and sauteed up a little more broccoli. And that was our meal. Very, very simple, very tasty. All of these meals have been super tasty and super easy. The last meal was so easy. I just got this pre-cooked, pre-sliced ham, and I added some small red potatoes and a bag of frozen green beans. I topped it all with a little bit of salt and a tiny bit of butter and a little bit of water. The great thing about cooking these all together is that ham flavor really gets into the green beans and the potatoes and gives it a really good flavor, kind of like as if you had cooked the green beans with bacon. So I had set it originally on 7 hours on low, but really it only took about 5 and it was ready to go. And here you have it, the last and final meal of this video, and it was also very easy and very delicious. I hope you found something that was helpful for you.